Hello, this is the Pirate Podcast, and I'm Eli Nelson.
I'm Patrick Sullivan.
And here we are with Coach Bill Utes, who's the head coach of the Pike County football team. Coach Utes has been the coach for 14 years. Hello, Coach. How you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
We'll go straight into it. How do you and the coaching staff feel after such a dominating win over NKC last week?
Well, we take things with a grain of salt. So each week is a different week. Each team is a different team. We were happy with the way we played. Obviously, any time that you can go in and win a game the way we did, we were very happy about that, especially against an extremely quality opponent as North Kansas City. The most important thing for us is we learned some things, and then hopefully we can take that and implement it into future weeks.
So, how do you feel your team has progressed through the first 2 weeks of the season?
I think we've done exactly the way, kind of what we probably anticipated. That first week, we had a very tough opponent in Park Hill South, and we had a lot of new faces in a lot of key spots. So, and that's high school football. Anytime you start a new year, there's always new kids that have to play certain positions. And so I think it's progressed the way we wanted it to, or at least expected to. I think we've gotten better every week, and that's all we can ask for.
With your special teams making big plays during some games, how do you feel that do you feel like your special teams has a bigger advantage over others?
Well, we put a lot of emphasis on our special teams. We always have, at least the last several years. It starts with a great kicker in Cole Roden that allows us to get great field position, and allows us as a weapon really for field goals. And then our coverage teams have done an excellent job. We see kids like Brody Folk running down making plays, and being a leader in that area, which it just fuels other kids to want to do the same thing.
So what are your thoughts on returning All-State linebacker Trevor Scott and how he impacts the game on the field and off the field?
Trevor's a great player. He's a very high impact player, and for someone in his situation, he's been starting for 4 years. I mean, he started halfway through his freshman season. So for him to step in, and really for those first 3 years, he just needed to play because there was other people that were in that leadership role. Trevor's done a nice job with the leadership aspect of it, and that's kind of what's evolved his game. And you can really kind of see it on the field as well. When he was younger, he was very much in control of what he did, and that was kind of all we really asked him to do. You can see him find joy in what others are doing. When others have success on the field, you can see him actually, really relishing that because you can tell he has a very much of an ownership part in that.
Bouncing off of that, there are other players who have been playing in key games. How do they teach the younger kids how do they lead them, and how do they get the experience that they got?
Yeah, and that's a great question. And we have not just Trevor's a 4-year letter winner, but Kate Fowler's a 4-year letter winner. Jaden Wall's a 4-year letter winner. Both had some injuries in there, but still they were in there as freshmen. So, and then we have a bunch of others as well. So anytime you have a guy who has some experience, he teaches the other players, and you naturally do that because if you get everybody else around you better, then you're going to have more success. But I do feel that we have a very unselfish group in wanting to see our team and our program have success, not only this year but in future years.
So how big of a role does you and your coaching staff play in the success of the team?
Well, I would if I didn't think we had a major role, then I wouldn't be needing a job. So I do think that we do a lot in a sense of helping establish culture. I think we teach sound offensive and defensive and special team practices. I think we provide leadership that if it's absent, we provide that. We try to provide everything that is needed and the guidance that is there to be able to make plays. We talk about adversity. We talk about being in the right spot. We talk about all that teamwork and all that sort of thing. are we the ones out there making the play? No, but I do feel that we set up our players in order to make those plays. So, it's an ever-ending question. Is it the players that make the team the best? Is it the coaches that make the team the best? And in reality, I think you have to have a combination of both. And so I do feel that we have a solid role and that we impact that. Is it the deciding factor? That probably depends on the game.
All right, Coach, with a big week against Smithville this week, how do you get the players to flush their minds after such a big win and get strictly focused on the game on Friday?
Yeah, that's again another great question. Sometimes you see teams, that you hear bounce back wins, and you hear all this stuff of, you don't want to play a team after a loss because they're more focused with it. We've been blessed over the last several years to be in several big games, and we've been able to continue a string, going along. So it is purposeful, right? There is something to that, to keep that focus. In this scenario, being Smithville and being, so close in a conference game and so much riding on this game, it's not as hard, as opposed to if it's something, if it was just a game, So this is a little bit more than that. I told the kids last week that, big time players play in big time games and perform big time. And that's basically what we did last week. And this week's no different. So I would like to think that we are, as a program, mentally prepared to play in these type of games. And I think that carries over to our players as well.
So how big is it to have like home field advantage, especially against like rival schools like Smithville and Kearney, with 2/3 of the stands being filled with our fans?
Yeah, and we learned that last year. Last year we didn't have as many fans at the games. It was an interesting thing. I saw a study on the NFL that last year when there was no fans in the stands, actually the road team won more games than the home teams did, which is really an interesting study that way. There can be distractions at home, and that you don't have on the road, so you have to kind of maneuver those. I will tell you, it is a lot more fun when the stands are so loud. The beauty that we have, and I think there is a huge home field advantage to have our fans here and to get that many more. What I love about our community is that I would say 90% of the time, if not 100% of the time, our road fans are bigger than the home fans that we go to. So our crowd, we're used to having a very nice crowd everywhere we go. Our stadium is extremely loud. So, just the acoustics of it as it comes down off the bleachers is extremely loud. Makes it so much more fun. I think our players thrive on that as well. And really, I think when you look at the team success and you look, what are you going to do as a team and what are we going to do, how are you going to be, whatever. We've kind of evolved to more of a pillar for our community to be the thing to do, and so we don't take that responsibility lightly. I think we put a lot of pressure. I know I put a lot of pressure on myself to make sure that we are something that is proud of by the people in our community.
Each week, you probably reflect on yourself and the team as the season goes on. How do you have a more sense of urgency as the playoffs come, or does it remain the same? Your reflection on how you guys practice every day and how you guys play.
Well, I think one of the reasons for success is routine, and we try to keep it very simple. We keep the same routine. Is there more emphasis on the playoffs? Yeah, of course there is. It's more of a do or die mentality. There's an end. You may not have that next game, so there is more of an urgency that goes along with it. But we don't change what we do, and we continue to do the same way. We prepare the same way. We try to give every team the same amount of respect. Even though we know there's a lot more emotion and there's an uptick in that urgency, as you said. So it's just part of it. Playoff football is football is fun in general. And what we do is fun. Playoff football is even more fun.
All right, so to wrap up our podcast, we usually do a Final Four, which is just 4 simple questions. So the first question is, how many football games do you watch on the weekends after your games on Friday night?
Ironically, I don't watch that much. I really don't watch that much. I watch our game. I watch our films. I usually get a late game, a college game, bits and pieces of it. I really don't have the patience to sit and watch a whole game. So I kind of bounce around a little bit, to be honest with you. And then Chiefs, I like to watch the Chiefs, but other than the Chiefs, I don't watch bits and pieces of other games.
Alrighty, so if you don't really like watching much, are there any sports do you like? Do you like watching outside of football?
I've been raised around athletics. It's been a big part of my life. My 3 kids, it's a big part of their stuff. So I love watching what my kids do, and I would say that is definitely the peak of it. If I had nobody, I love a good high school basketball game. I love watching a high school basketball game. It just is fun in an old gym and kind of getting after it. But obviously my kids are going to take precedent on that. So, but any sport that, when I say that, I will say that any sport that I watch, I love to watch championship games. So I got myself caught up watching softball this summer some on, when that was on. I watched the College World Series. I watch I don't watch hardly any NBA basketball until the finals. It's just I love watching championship games because I like to see people perform at their peak.
What is your favorite place to eat in Platte City?
In Platte City? Gosh. We've got a lot of good things, too. El Magwe is pretty good. I do a good burger whenever I get a chance to. So, I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of you can't see me on a podcast, but I don't shy away from food. So any food is good.
Alrighty, final question. After coaching football, what is your dream? Do you have a dream vacation spot that you would like to take your family?
Dream vacation spot. I like to go to a beach. I like the ocean. I like the beach.
Alrighty, well, that'll do it for all. Thank you, Coach, for joining us today, and see you next time.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.